know that y'all convicted and had a wrong man in prison.
And after
a child in prison. And today we're reacting to top 7 reactions of innocent convicts set free. One of the most traumatizing, scary things that could possibly happen to you is going to prison for some shit you did not do, but getting a crazy sentence, just a sentence in general. And you confident that you're not supposed to be in there, but then they hitting you with it. That's what everybody says, buddy. That's some movie shit. There's a movie on Netflix right now about a guy getting the death sentence for some shit he ain't do. And the evidence showed everything, and he still got murdered. Shit crazy, bro. That's an unfortunate situation.
This is John Bunn. He spent 27 years wrongfully convicted.
You see what I'm saying? I know it just started, but damn, 27, nigga. Your life is like your life. You have a whole different life. I guess the best thing that they do is they do be giving these niggas money for this shit. But 27 years of your life, time, money, like, man, bro.
Convicted of murder.
I'm an innocent man, Your Honor, and I have always been an innocent man.
While living in Brooklyn, New York, Bunn was only 14 years old when he
Wow.
was arrested by NYPD detective Louis Scarcella.
Wow.
Bunn later spent 16 years behind bars and then 11 years out on parole, where he still fought to prove his innocence.
Wow.
Then finally, his conviction was overturned based on the wrongdoing of Detective Scarcella and the fact that there wasn't even probable cause to arrest Bunn in the first place.
I want y'all to know that y'all convicted and had a wrong man in prison.
And after
A child in prison that turned into a man.
27 years of fighting to clear his name, he is finally exonerated.
I want to thank you, Your Honor, because in 27 years, I've been fighting for my life.
But before he leaves the courtroom, he has a moment with the judge.
I need $15 million, please.
Bunn later filed a lawsuit against the city of New York and
Yeah.
Detective Scarcella.
Yeah. Wait, did he get 27 million?
This is David Ranta. He spent 22 years behind bars for a murder he did not commit. In Brooklyn, New York, Ranta was arrested by
what's up in
Detective
New York?
Louis Scarcella. Yes, this is another wrongful conviction that's
Whoa.
connected to Scarcella. Ranta was put in a police lineup run by Scarcella and was identified as the shooter. But decades later, reportedly, the key witness revealed that the detective had provided him with a description of whom to pick in the lineup. There was no physical evidence linking Ranta to the killing, and the evidence presented to the jury was allegedly fabricated. Ranta was
They even did a white man like that. He must have been fucking that nigga wife or some shit. He said, get him.
and sentenced to 37.5 years to life in prison. But after
Wow.
spending over 2 decades in prison, the
Wow.
former witnesses admitted that they were pressured into testifying against Ranta. And now, this is the moment his conviction gets thrown out.
Mr. Ranta, to say that I'm sorry for what you have endured would be an understatement and grossly inadequate, but I say it to you anyway. The defendant's motion to vacate the judgment of conviction is granted.
Congratulations, man.
After his handcuffs were removed, he hugged his family. With all he owned thrown over his back, he walks out
Wow.
a free man. After his release, he reportedly received $2 million from the
No. No. Thank you, but no. And it needs to be untaxed.
state and a $6.4 million settlement from the city of New York.
Okay. That's a little bit better.
This is Susan Mellen. She was sentenced to life in prison
Whoa.
without parole based on an untruthful testimony. She was 42 years old when she was arrested in Los Angeles, California, at a McDonald's while taking her daughter to get a Happy Meal. But that was the last time she would see her child for 7 years, as she was charged for the murder of an ex-boyfriend.
You are under arrest now for murder.
Mellen's conviction was based solely on an informant who claimed that Mellen had confessed the killing to her.
Wow.
She was in prison for a total of 17
Wow.
years until the informant was proven to be a pathological liar and an unreliable witness. And now, this
Bro, them niggas, like, bro, they need to double back and go take them to prison. You lied. That's the same thing with the women that be doing it, how the women be doing niggas when they be lying. You feel me? The ones that be innocent. Prison. You shouldn't be able to do that fucking nigga whole shit off and there's no repercussions. What is that? What is that that's stopping that from happening, y'all? Do I not know?
This is the moment that Mellen's case is finally overturned.
The judgment is vacated. The conviction is overturned.
Wow.
And as to Ms. Mellen, the case is dismissed.
Wow.
From tears in one moment to jumping in joy the next. When released, Mellen took her daughter to McDonald's to deliver that long-awaited Happy Meal. The state of California awarded Mellen $597,000 in compensation. And reportedly, the Los Angeles City Council agreed to pay $12 million to Susan Mellen.
Whoa.
This is Luis Vargas. He was sentenced to...
Whoa. Come out, went into jail, come out a millionaire, multi. It's not worth the time though. Especially the 17 to 20 years, bro. You not the same nigga. I'm coming out 20 years later, 46. I'm not the same individual.
55
My son, I didn't see my son do a whole lot. That's crazy.
5 years to life
Not worth
for
it.
crimes he did not commit. Vargas was 29, living in Los Angeles, California, when he was charged with 3 sexual assaults.
LA and New
Based on
York,
similar
bro.
descriptions of these crimes, police concluded that it was the same person that committed all 3 attacks. Vargas was later convicted on all counts, and he spent a total of 16 years in prison until the California Innocence Project tested DNA on the remaining physical evidence and clothing from one of the victims. And it was not a match, proving that Vargas did not commit these crimes.
He is in fact innocent because the evidence will show that it undermines the prosecution's case.
Vargas sat silently when he was exonerated from all crimes. Vargas only had one simple wish from his mother for when he would become a free man.
Please buy me a big hamburger and we eat it together.
Reportedly, after Vargas was exonerated, he received $886,000 in state compensation. This is Daniel Villegas. He spent 18 years in prison for a double homicide he never committed. In El Paso, Texas, Villegas was arrested at 16, where an El Paso detective reportedly threatened him with beatings and the death penalty if he did not confess.
One thing that my mother, and I know his mom maybe taught him. I say this all the time. You know, my mom was a real nigga. My mom is a real nigga. Bro, she's from New York, so she saw that. Y'all remember that that situation? They made a show on Netflix about it where those 5 kids went to prison for a long. She said, "You don't ever confess to nothing." Born and raised in New York, you don't ever confess to nothing you ain't do. I don't give a fuck. I don't care about nothing. You don't ever confess to nothing you ain't do. Cause this like stuff like this, and she broke her down young. You know what I'm saying? She's like, so if you ain't do it, you ain't do it. I remember one time I got in trouble at school, right? These kids were calling this one Hispanic kid Pablo. There were other Hispanic kids. I went to a very Hispanic school, but they were calling him Pablo, right? His name wasn't Pablo, so but we were all playing outside at recess, so they brought all of us to what's it called? Like, you know, he just started saying people, right? Saying names and shit. We're all outside. And, you know, we all get called up to the principal's office, and they calling our mom like, hey, racism, y'all, they over here talking about Pablo and this. I'm like, Ma, I ain't say that. And she was like, you ain't say it? I'm like, yeah, Ma. She went up there and turned that bitch up. Brought the little boy up. She's like, did he say that? And he's like, no, he ain't say that. And they was like, yeah. So she flashed on the whole shit. I said, my dude's not playing.
And the teenage Villegas signed a confession that was prepared by the detectives. He tried to withdraw his confession a few hours after, but by then, it was too late. He was charged with 2 counts of capital murder. With the false confession being the only piece of evidence, the jury was unable to agree on a verdict. Villegas had a retrial.
I'm not confessing to no
jury
motherfucking
returned a
murder. You
guilty
gonna have to
verdict.
whip my ass. I ain't gonna lie. I'm being dead serious. That could have been 15, 16. I'm not confessing. You said confess to 2 murders? Yeah, you're gonna have to beat me. You're gonna have to beat my ass. You're gonna have to beat my ass. I'm not confessing to that. No, I didn't do that.
and he
Murder?
was given a
No,
life sentence.
I ain't do that.
After spending 18 years in prison, the verdict was thrown out, and Villegas remained out on bond where he got married and started a family. But now, we're in the third trial.
If the defendant will please stand.
This is the moment that Villegas will find out if he'll go home with his family or be sent back to prison to serve his life sentence.
The state of Texas versus Daniel Villegas. Verdict form B. We, the jury, find the defendant Daniel Villegas not guilty of...
Villegas is now a free man.
You are no longer under any conditions. You are free to leave. Thank you.
Reportedly, Villegas has filed a lawsuit against the city of El Paso. This is Ricky Jackson. He spent over 39 years.
I was about to say, just kind of off of how he looked, he seemed like he probably got the heaviest shit. For some reason, just I could see it on him that he's been in prison for a very long time. Nigga, 40 years. We ain't gonna call it 39. We rounding up. 40 years this nigga's been in prison, bro. That's all you know is prison at that point, bro. Dead ass serious.
Years in prison for a murder he did not commit. Jackson was arrested at 18 years old, living in Cleveland, Ohio. The main witness in the case was a 12-year-old kid named Eddie Vernon, who in fact didn't see anything. And he said the police did pressure him into testifying against Jackson, which then later led to his conviction.
The police pressuring kids, that's so foul, bro. Why do they do that? Like, bro, it's him, wasn't it? Like, come on. Why do you want this nigga to be in prison so bad?
Jackson initially was sentenced to die in the electric chair, but after spending 2 years on death row, his death sentence was reduced to life in prison. Nearly 4 decades later, the now 52-year-old Eddie Vernon came forward with the truth, stating that he never saw the murder happen. Charges against Jackson were then dropped, and after being wrongfully imprisoned for 39 years, this is the moment that Jackson hears that he is free to go.
Mr. Jackson is going to be free to go. Life is filled with small victories, and this is a big one. I wish you good luck. Thank you.
I know you didn't convict me, my nigga, but I need some more than that, bro. I need 50 million.
All right.
Cause now he's just supposed to go into the world with what nigga didn't know shit. He went to jail at 18. You don't know nothing about nothing in the real world. Now
Jackson
what?
Jackson is now outside for the first time as a free man.
Yeah, I know, that's crazy. I know.
Jackson received $1 million in compensation from the state and an additional $2.65 million.
I mean, at the end of the day, bro, I guess that's all you can kind of I don't know, man. It's something, but it's, I don't know.
Lost income. This is Kirstin Lobato. She served 16 years in prison for a murder she did not commit. At 18 years old, she was charged with the brutal murder of a homeless man in Las Vegas. Wow. She was first convicted of first-degree murder, but on a retrial, she was convicted on the lesser charges of voluntary manslaughter and sentenced to 13 to 45 years. And after spending 16 years behind bars, a new hearing was presented with evidence that confirmed the actual day of the victim's death was when Lobato was 3 hours away with her family.
How was this not known a week or 2 weeks after we all niggas started? No, nigga, I was I'm over here. How could I possibly been here if I was over here? That don't even make no sense. How is this figure getting figured out 16 years later? Such a minuscule, this was not something forensic that had to be studied. And my nigga, I was over here 3 years ago. You want to check the camera out? These are the places I was at. I was at my house. What do we have to do? Because I'm not going like that. There's no... How does this happen, bro? Not having enough money for a lawyer? How does this happen?
Proving that Lobato could not have possibly committed these crimes. This is Lobato outside for the first time as a free woman.
Because I'm the type of nigga that this shit have to be like, I told y'all niggas. I told y'all. I fucking told y'all. Mad as hell.
I feel overwhelmed. I feel excited. I feel grateful. I'm so happy.
Lobato has filed a lawsuit against the Las Vegas Police Department, and her compensation claim is ongoing.
So where to now?
Okay, well, we got more people coming too.
For what money? Well, what money? You're going to have to wait a few years for that money. That being said, man, let me know how y'all feel in the comments. Crazy. Crazy. How would y'all react, bruh? Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Good for y'all, man. And we gone. ADD lad, do it.